I remember a couple of years ago when I just had my shoulder surgery on my left shoulder, stemming from injuries from basketball, and I had a successful surgery. But after the surgery, I had gained a lot of weight. I gained about, yeah, say 15, 20 kilos, and it's the first time I passed 100 kgs in my life. Mind you, I'm a pretty tall person, I'm about 6'1", but I was always hovered around 80, 85 kgs. Or anyone that does the non-metric system, that's about 225 or 230 plus pounds. And those times was really hard for me because I went to a lot. It kind of helped me, my family did help me, but because it was the first time in my life I had to stay stagnant, I couldn't do anything. 7 months, all I could do basically was eat and recover, but I couldn't play basketball, and I was having doubts about my basketball future and my career path at the time. And I used to speak so bad about myself. Like, man, I used to write like journals telling myself like I'm so lazy, like I'm disgusting, I'm this. And to the point where I even found self-improvement videos back then. And those self-improvement videos, like you say, some people say the red pill videos, like I've seen some of them and they kind of gave me a little bit of motivation to kind of push me forward and understand that I can use that as fuel, that negative connotation and all that stuff that I speak out, I can use it as fuel. So, and I understood like it did help me, to push myself, calling myself a lazy person. I had like a journal entry where I was going crazy on myself. Like you would be scared of what I was calling myself, but I was doing it as to kind of motivate myself, but at the same time I was kind of like speaking ill will on my own name, like for no reason. I'll be making up stuff about myself just to kind of give me the edge to kind of keep pushing forward. And that's when it hit me. I think it hit me about a year ago when I started getting closer with my relationship with Christ, that the tongue is a powerful tool. And a lot of people don't know this, but your words are creating your future. You don't want to be that person that now harbors and talks negative about yourself so much to the point where now you kind of trick your brain in a sense of, I'm the worst human on earth, I'm this, I'm that. Then people talk bad about themselves so much, and a lot of people obviously they get suicidal ideation and all those bad things just because they negatively talk about themselves. And I don't know how bad and dangerous that was back then. Now I understand, of course, man, I've matured and I found like a way of life and a passion that I can kind of keep going for. But back then, man, I was lost, man. I'm telling you, like, I had my shoulder surgery 2019, so I was lost 10 times. And kind of use this YouTube channel as a way I can express myself, that I can give more wisdom to people that are younger than me or even older than me that can help someone, in the future. And my main objective is to lead people to Christ. And it's not to tell people that I'm trying to influence you or anything like that. No, I want to show you through my actions and through my words that this is the best decision I've made for my life. But I want to go back to the main topic, was your tongue is a powerful tool, and you don't want to play around with that stuff. Like people say manifesting, especially in the worldly thing, like manifesting, I speak stuff into existence, and I understand that, in a worldly sense. But as a Christian man, you have to be careful with manifesting stuff, because at the end of the day, our Creator is the one that's making stuff work for us. If we speak into existence, we pray for her. It says in the Bible, I forgot which verse it was, but it says if you pray for her with long suffering and fasting and something like that, you will get it, because God knows your heart and He understands your desires and your passions. I think nowadays we underestimate the power of words we speak to ourselves. We really do underestimate it. Saying stuff like I'm lazy, or I'm ugly, like I'm an annoying person because people don't want to hang out with me, or I will never change, or I'm just a nobody, or like my parents don't like me. It slowly seeps into you now and it becomes your identity. And that's what hurt me when I was younger. Like I wish I knew it back then, but it really pushes you in the wrong direction. And I'm being totally honest, like everyone's probably been through it where you say stuff about yourself, and it could be in the hindsight. It could be after like a fast food meal, or like you eat junk food and you feel, that sick feeling that you feel. And you're like, man, I'm fat. I'm never going to get in shape, da da da. You saying that, the power of the tongue is now pushing that into perspective for you. And now you're making it become your identity, because you're speaking into existence, even though you don't know. And that's the way the enemy gets us. The enemy can't make us speak stuff, but he can make us fall into temptation or sin, which then results into us pushing a narrative out through our tongues and speaking it out into existence of what we don't want to become, which eventually will turn us into the person that we don't want to become. Negative self-talk, it's a borderline scary topic to talk about, because as I say, we live in a society where it's hustle culture, it's push, push, push. I can only speak about the male stratosphere, where even in self-improvement, it's kind of it's not even frowned upon, it's actually looked up upon, where you basically degrade yourself to kind of give you fuel and motivation to keep pushing forward. And trust me, I get it, because I went through that stage as well. But there's nothing like positive self-talk. There's nothing like telling yourself, I'm going to achieve, I'm going to become this, I want to achieve this goal. I want to help my parents. I want to get a family. I want to get a God-fearing wife. I want to get a God-fearing husband. Whatever like you guys want to say, you have to speak it into existence and pray for it, because God knows your heart and your desires. He can make stuff like that happen. And again, like I say, if you're not a Christian or if you're any other religion or atheist, it's a very sticky situation to kind of get into like all that stuff. We can have a video about that one day, but understand that the power of the tongue will help you and push you into good direction or a bad direction. And if you're a Christian like me, you believe in your heart and your soul that whatever you pray for, Jesus will make it happen. God will make it happen. Sometimes he might not let it happen because he knows that that's the wrong path for you and that will lead you to sin and temptation. So again, know that. Don't harbor and kind of get lost into the source with that type of stuff, but understand that the tongue has the power of life and death. You and I know that. It's been preached for history for years, even before Jesus Christ was born. But the power of the tongue is a very dangerous thing. You guys know, like I preach it in all my videos. I try to preach the word. In Proverbs 18 verse, I think it's 21 or 22, it literally says it right then and there. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. You can put it in context, it literally tells you right then and there. Be careful what you repeatedly say or say, because eventually you start believing the story you're telling yourself. And if it's a good one, it'll be a good thing. If it's a bad one, it'll be a bad thing. When you finally understand how important and enormous the influence words have, you'll get the wisdom that something shouldn't be said, something shouldn't be repeated. You now know that in your heart that the tongue is the most dangerous tool that we have as human beings. Because again, you saying something can hurt someone 10 lines down. That's just opinion of yours, but that can make someone depressed if you say something bad about a co-worker, and then now that co-worker eventually hears about it because of you gossiping, and that could eventually now tip that person over because they could be believing that. They could have some negative self-talk. So I always say, be careful what you say and understand that your words are creating your future.